He passed bot, which is totally fine, right? Renekton has TP top, so pathing bot is good. And when he passed bot here after his Raptors, right? Look at the map for me. The map bot is so cooked. Like, mid has no prio, bot lane has no prio, Corki's already lost, like, quite a bit of HP, right? And the enemy jungler, don't get me wrong, the enemy jungler here, the Zahen, might be pathing towards top. She has, or he has, sorry, a Rumble with Ignite here, so it's difficult to anticipate where the enemy jungler is going to move here. But you expect the worst. So our top laner right now, Renekton, has prio. He's also got a nice ward, so it lets us know early if the enemy jungler is going to go top, right? The lane that's hardest to play around here is bot, and he does this a lot. Now, when his top laner dies, it does suck, don't get me wrong. But funnily enough, Renekton has TP. So even though Renekton dies here, he's actually going to be in a better position when he gets back by the time the crab spawns. He can regain the prio, he could even freeze it potentially for Velja to gank, because Rumble has no flash. That would be really good for Renekton. So here, pathing towards bot, you should already be thinking, what crab am I going to play for? Because if you are looking to full clear, which Velja does, and this will happen a lot, I think, at this, like, in this style of play, I guess, in pro, organized, whatever you want to call it, competitive, lots of junglers are just going to AFK full clear, right? So because of that, your first real, like, kind of gameplay is crabs. So here, Velja, I don't think should ever, like, think about going to this bot crab here. And I think after blue, he should just rotate through the back of mid towards top. The only giveaway here, right, or not giveaway, sorry, but one thing you've got to look for is where their mid laner is positioning. But the Aurora here, I mean, I guess Aurora is kind of towards top side, so again, it's difficult to tell. But I just think going for the play he does bot is criminal here, and he gets punished for it, and he does indeed die. So look at this for me, Renekton TP's top, and he has prio. Bot lane is cooked here, right? Bot lane is totally cooked. Your Corki's 1 HP, and you guys might be like, oh yeah, but you know, he needs to cover his bot lane for the dive. If he covers bot lane, getting dove from Zahen, then he's losing the bot crab anyway. So as a jungler here, if you cover the bot dive, it's terrible because you're going to be down 2 crabs. That means the enemy jungler's level 6 well before you, and that means wherever the enemy jungler is and their pathing is symmetrical in this game, it's going to be GG, right? You cannot do anything as Mundo here if you give up both crabs or cover bot. That would be the result, right? So unfortunately, when your bot lane is in a situation like this, guys, you literally just have to say, look, you guys have trolled already. If you're 1 HP, it's not my fault. I can't give up 2 crabs. So Velja here, for me, should be running back through mid, behind mid, yeah, avoiding the minions vision, and playing for top crab here. Unfortunately, he runs bot, probably through vision, and does this. Doesn't do anything, right? So he ends up dying here, and the enemy AD carry has double buffs and a kill. This should be game over here. And the enemy jungler actually makes a good move, I think. So after this play, the enemy Zahen double crabs Velja. So Zahen gets the bot crab here, and then runs through mid, because mid prior, right? Aurora TP'd back first, even though she died. So Zahen gets 2 crabs hit because of that, and Velja died and gave the enemy AD carry double buffs. But what I'm trying to say here, guys, is like that picture, this one here is no surprise when we go all the way back here. Look at bot side of the map. It's no surprise, right? Like that is the outcome here. After this happens, right, Velja decides to, I think, just run to top crab, right? It's the only play he can make, right? Some of this is skipped, of course, but running to top crab, I think, is fine. And the enemy jungler has done the top crab. The unfortunate thing here, him invading the enemy jungler's Gromp here seems okay. Maybe even in 1v1, it's okay. But the issue is Rumble here. And even the enemy mid laner, right? So it's difficult here to play into the Gromp. I actually love the idea, by the way. But it's impossible just because of Rumble's prior and also the enemy mid laner, yeah? So when he starts this, what he should do is actually chill. It's just a really bad time to invade, and this time he loses a lot here, because the other option, the opportunity cost here, for obviously making this play, is doing Croaks, and then getting into Raptors, yeah? So I thought this was, like, I love the idea of an invade, don't get me wrong, you know me, but, yeah, like, there it's just impossible. Like, with top how it is, it's just too difficult to make that play happen. And, yeah, you can kind of see him here, he's, you know, a little, not depressed literally about it, but, you know, it's a little bit sad, right, that you can't make that play. And this trend is going to continue here, right? So when he passed bot here, look at bot lane. So bot lane is, I mean, bot lane's not doing too bad, to be fair, right? Like, the difference is actually kind of even, and it looks like Corki's holding his own here. So bot lane's not bad, but again, we don't have prio in both of these lanes. So because we don't have prio in both of these lanes, how are we going to be able to contest? I mean, Dragon might be contestable, but this crab is spawning in about 60 seconds, yeah? Something like that. So because that crab, in fact, we'll get it here, there you go, 40 seconds now, after he did Gromp. What he could do is literally recall and get a Giant's Belt, maybe Cloth Armor, whatever he can buy, right? But he could recall and just get Giant's Belt here, a Control Ward, and run out to the crab as strong as possible. He has a free base here based on the timing of the crab, but for whatever reason, we're running bot and clearing this ward. This is still okay because you still get to the crab on time, but it's like, who cares about this ward we could be back on the map a little bit quicker here, and this ward will probably expire anyway. And we're also showing, right? Even though they probably know exactly where he is, I just think it's better just to base and get back on the map quicker here for a potential crab fight. So yeah, he could be in the exact same position, right, in about 10 seconds time with a giant spell, with a control ward. It'd be stronger, right? With sweeper as well. And to be honest, what he should be doing here, the other option, by the way, if he thinks he cannot contest this crab, right? So let me just say this, guys. If he was recalling here, yeah, which is what I'm suggesting, if he was running out of base through mid, so you'd run like this. If he's running out of base through mid, and he thinks, oh shit, Nami's basing, Corki's So if you saw this picture here, look above your minimap of Corki and Nami. Right? They're going to base. If you saw that running out of base here, right, that your bot lane is going to recall, you can't contest anything bot now. Even the dragon's probably gone. So because of that, if you were running out of base like that, you would pivot back to top side. And Rumble becomes the best thing you can kill. And top camps become good as well. Because if the Zehen gets that crab, we need to get something in response. So him being here now is a big mistake in this early game, just like the initial crab fight. So we clear the ward, and then Zehen hits level 6 because she's so far ahead, and then he dies, right? So there's another kill to the Yanara here. And if the game wasn't already GG, giving the enemy AD carry red and blue buff, it should be now. But yeah, mistakes are going to be made, right? So some games like aren't killed off when they should be. If this was, like Gumayusi or something, or T1's bot lane, or Genji's bot lane, right? Ruler 2-0 and Yanara, the game is probably over. So after he dies, he has to run top right, and he does his camps here. It's fine to do red buff first. He could always think about doing Krugs first there, but red Krugs Raptors is totally cool, and that's exactly what he does. And you're going to see an interesting sequence of events here. So when he passed towards Raptors, right, we know the enemy jungler is, because Zehen, guys, after they killed him, so when they killed Velja around mid tower, the Zehen hasn't done drag, right? So because drag's still there, he has to have done something else, which is base, right? Because his top camps are spawning. So Velja and the enemy jungler, Mo, they're on the same kind of tempo, right? So if Velja is doing his red buff, the enemy jungler is probably doing their blue buff, right? Very standard in these games, by the way. Don't just think in your games it's going to be like this. It's very, very rare in lots of elos, if not every elo, that a game is going to be like this at this point, where every jungler is, like synced up with the other one. Because random shit happens, right, in solo queue. But in this game, we know that if Velja is hitting Raptors here, there's a Zehen is probably hitting Wolves. So both of these guys are pathing towards bot, and this is where the game gets interesting. So when Velja passed towards bot here, right, we have Grub spawning in 20 seconds. Now, we know here, we're making a conscious decision, right, because we're pathing towards bot side here, we are giving up Grubs if the Zehen goes to Grubs. So if we're going to give up Grubs, we need to be ready to act on bot side of the map. Whether it's Zehen's camps, whether it's Dragon, whether it's ganking, diving, bot lane, whatever it is, right? Those are the plays that Velja has to make here. So when he passed towards bot, doing Wolves is totally fine because there's no other play to make because Grubs are not spawning yet. When he finishes Wolves, though, this is when we have to think. I'm farming towards bot, and so is the enemy jungler naturally here. So if the enemy jungler is going to do Grubs, that's when I can look to do drag or look to do their bot camps. But this is where jungling again gets just interesting. This is why it's like a fun role in terms of macro. When Velja finishes Wolves and starts Gromp, the Grubs have now spawned. Look at Lulu for me. You can kind of tell where the enemy jungler wants to play or where maybe like where they are right now based on what their teammates are doing. So when you see Lulu here running like a lunatic into the tri-brush, it's indicative of Zehen probably being bot because it's very hard to track the Zehen here. So Zehen could easily do Raptors red. Where's my pen, man? So the enemy Zehen here could easily do Raptors red, right? And go like that. Like they could do. I'm not saying that's like best here, but they could do that, right? And it leaves little counterplay. Okay, like we get a drag, but do we know she's on Grubs or he's on Grubs? Do we know that? It's hard to tell, right, on this map. But Lulu here gives the enemy jungler away big time. Playing like this, farming these camps, I think is totally justified because I don't think the enemy jungler here is on Grubs. So him farming his camps here is fine because the enemy Zehen is farming their camps, right? We know now, look at the time for me, it's 8:25. If Zehen was on Grubs, she would have done them, or he would have done them, sorry, right? So because of that, we know the Zehen has got to be bot side, right? So instead of going to bot, what I would be doing here is going towards mid because your Anivia is diffing mid. Your Anivia is the best player here on your team in terms of who's fed, right? If you press tab, that's what I mean, not actual player. Yeah, you probably could argue that. Nemesis is a god. So, because I press tab and I see the Nemesis is winning mid, I'm clicking towards mid here, and I'm going to make sure Anivia doesn't get ganked on this wave. Because imagine if Zehen ran mid. Raptors red, ran mid. Be terrible, right? Really, really bad. Going bot here, we don't need to because we have vision. We literally have vision, and we have that vision, by the way. So because they have wards in pixel, right? Look at the wards in pixel. That gives us time to react to the enemy jungler. There is no time to react to a mid gank here because Zehen is going to show next to Anivia, basically. If Zehen ganks the Corki, we're going to see him well before he actually hits the Corki. So we can always move afterwards. So here he should be leaning towards mid and making sure that Nemesis doesn't get ganked on this wave. Bot lane is always safe here. Corki with flash, we've got vision, we don't need to worry about this lane. And being a Mundo, even if you were playing Wukong or Xin Zhao, you can make 0 play bot because enemy bot's winning and enemy jungler's here as well. Exactly the same as the Scuttle Crab fight. So what he should be doing here, in my opinion, is hovering around mid, and he can even run to grubs. I would even consider doing this, and maybe, after Anivia shoves, doing something to Rumble. I don't even think I would be down here looking to fight. Because the Hen is stronger, the AD carry is stronger, you have a tier AD carry. You know, they're all typically weaker early game unless they're really fed, but Corki's not. So we can just take out all the coin flip here and run to grubs. And maybe dive the Rumble with Renekton ultimate, and if Anivia can run up, even better. If she can't, hopefully we can dive on our own, but we'll have to see, right? If Rumble's full HP, it might be difficult. But those are the plays here that are guaranteed, and they're totally fine. This game is not going to break, and Anivia is probably just going to win it for you. But this, again, reminds me of the Scuttle Crab fight, where we don't really need to be here. Like, what if we land a couple of cleavers? Who cares? And, yeah, I think in comms here, if you guys listen to it, maybe I should play it as well. 1 second. Okay, we'll play it here.
Well, this is good. This is winning. This is winning. She just on it.
So this is winning. Like, they might do okay in 2v2 here, but in terms of 3v3, I don't actually know if they win. Like, look at Yanara's items. Even if she's low, does she have flash? Does she have barrier? She's got Lulu ultimate. Zehen's going to be here. Again, we can't conclusively say that's winning. But what we can do is circle Anivia, and we compare that to Aurora. The Anivia is in a better position here, right? Maybe at the moment, like, the gold spent is kind of similar, but I'd much rather have Nemesis here, right? Like, his score and CS and stuff. So mid is where you can just win this game. You can chill. Like, there's no reason to make any sort of play bot. And maybe like Corki saying, oh, this is winning, kind of bait you as a jungler, which it probably would for most of us, right? But if I'm like listening to that, I'm like, well, yeah, but don't you see Anivia like winning? Like, we don't have to force through bot every game. And yeah, there's an easy way to win this, guys. We can just play through mid. And imagine if they were like, you know, I think Velja here should be on grubs or running towards them through the back of mid. Imagine if they dove Rumble, who's worth bounty, and you kill a Rumble without TP. That is actually more consequential for a game, right, than hovering around Dragon throwing cleavers. And that's not me being toxic, that's literally what's happening. If they end up doing this, though, that's fantastic, right? Maybe their bot lane randomly, you know, got, like, sustain back. I guess they do, because Nami can, like, heal the Corki and stuff. But for me, like, I just wouldn't even entertain this, and I think going top and playing for the free grubs is better, because the game, Anivia can carry it. So can Mundo as well, he can get back in this game. Staying on the map here after Dragon, so thankfully they get this, right? But there's no way we knew we would do Dragon, like, you know, all the way back here, right? It's impossible to know if we do drag here. Yeah? Impossible. Especially when Corki's like low, right, and their bot lane's being aggressive. It's very difficult looking at this picture here to say, oh, we easily get Dragon, guys. So when they eventually do it in 40 seconds, it's quite surprising. I'm not sure if the enemy bot trolled, but yeah. After this, I think Velja needs his top camps, Raptors and Krugs, for Heartsteel. And it totally makes sense to stay. Like, why would you base here only to base after your top camps again? So staying here and running to Raptors is definitely correct. And we also know here, guys, that because our hen, and same thing, right, isn't on drag, where's the hen going to go? Towards grubs, right? So we know the enemy jungler is running to grubs here. We don't have prio top. So unfortunately, we have to give up grubs here. Now, funnily enough, the best play, I'm not saying this in this game. Generally speaking here, the best play, if you guys could ever do it, is this. That's the best play. Your top camps do not equal the same gold, or kind of like, not gold initially, right? Like, you might get more gold from killing these two camps than getting an assist bot lane, but it's what that kill on the enemy AD carry might lead to under tower. Plates, waves, yeah. The kill itself, if Corki got all that, goodness me. Now you've got Anivia and Corki who are going to win the game. So funnily enough here, the best play, what he should be asking is, can I actually do this here? Like, Lulu just base, can we run down bot and do that? But no, right? Yanara base, she's running back to lane full HP. Lulu will be close behind the Yanara. It's impossible to dive, and Corki's on a base, Nami no ultimate, right? It's impossible to dive the enemy bot lane here. But that's the best play, generally speaking here. You know Zehen is going to do grubs maybe in like 20-30 seconds time, right? So if we go to like 9:30 maybe, I think he skips it, unfortunately, yeah. But you see the map here, right? Like after he skips it, which is like 2 minutes later, or a minute and a half later, but we know that grubs would have been taken. So just a mental thing there. And after Dragon, like I said, he goes Raptors Krugs. Here, yeah. And then I think he recalls and he farms Gromp on the way out because his Gromp is missing. So I'm pretty sure he went Gromp and then he's bot here. And I think this move is good because your bot lane is pressuring the enemy bot lane on a wave. Mid is also really active here. So when you're a jungler, guys, and you're not really like that fed, I would do the same on the Shack. You don't need to necessarily like worry too much about your golden experience because you're not going to like carry the game. You're going to carry the game through your teammates. So when Velja runs out bot, and he's obviously done Gromp, right? So he's done this, yeah? So he's done 1, 2 base. Enemy's done Grubs. And then we've ran out and we've done Gromp here. Now, we've ran out here like this. Now, I would still contest that running here is probably better. We have a ward here, yes? Or maybe that was control warded. But we've got a ward here. Corki has Valkyrie and Flash, I'm pretty sure. So I would still be hovering mid because Anivia is more worth than your bot lane here. The Anivia is dipping mid. So I still think him flexing towards bot or leaning towards bot is a mistake. He should be going through mid lane towards the enemy Raptors. But still, being active here I think is completely correct. Like missing walls, I think this is a really, really good move. And this poke right, I didn't actually see Yanara's HP, 1 HP. I think this is a really good move, just pressuring the Yanara, right? Because eventually this is going to lead to gold and she's going to have to back off the tower and stuff. So I think this is good. But the issue with showing here like he's done, I'm saying like being here is still good and better than being on walls. But this is the issue when you show, is that Anivia is now vulnerable. So if the enemy jungler hit the immobile Anivia, right, and outplayed and flash Q, etc., the Anivia might die. So that's why I wanted him to lean towards mid after Gromp. So you just go like this. And then you can still play bot, but you're also helping out mid here in that little hot spot. Because that's where she's going to get hit from. After they shove that wave, this next wave, he should definitely stay here. And he should never run out. This crab, why does the crab matter? We want to pressure their bot lane on this wave that's crashing. And to be honest, like for me, the Anivia, after she shoves mid, should run down and dive this bot lane. I'm not sure exactly what happens here. I can't remember. But Anivia here should be running bot. And there you go, see? But Velja should be here as well, man. Even if he's running through that vision that they have over the wall, totally fine. But you can see here as well, it's the amazing thing, right? If he leaned towards mid, this shit's not warded. Well, it might be control warded, right? But Lulu has 3 wards to put down. That's warded. This is warded. The Tri-Brush might be control warded. We've got to run through vision here. So now it alerts Yanara, hey, you can run back. We're not going to kill you under the tower, which is what would happen if you go like this. Or blast cone over, right, with the Anivia. Boom. You're pinching them under the tower rather than pushing them away. So if you can go round and pinch, a lot better than through and pushing them off. This is being a nice jungler here. The move is still good. The idea is correct, but it's the execution here. So he needs to learn like how to lean towards mid lane more, especially when he's mid. I'm guessing Nemesis is going to beat every single like mid laner, right? In this tournament or whatever they're playing. One more thing here I just wanted to bring up, and I think this will be the end of the video afterwards, is, yeah, Bwipo dies in 1v1 there to Rumble, expected to be honest, after the level 3, but it's all good. And, yeah, so Velja is going to farm his top side here, right? So after that bot play, he runs back to bot crab, so he's done this, right? So after that little dancing around in the bot lane, he's come back to crab, or he did crab, sorry, and then he's come back to walls as well, and here he is on his red buff, yeah? So he's doing red, making sure Zahen didn't take it, so he's doing red first. Into Raptors, into Krugs. He makes a big mistake here, but he makes a mistake because of Bwipo. Which is a bit of a shame, and I kind of feel sorry for Velja because junglers go through this man a lot. And my experience in like pro teams and amateur teams and stuff, lots of people just communicate as if, you know, they own the jungler, or it's like, you know, the jungler's your puppet and, you know, is subservient to you. It's really not. Jungle is a carry role just like anything else. Velja in this game is 0-2, of course. We've all been 0-2. And in those games, you play around, you press tab, and you say who's going to win the game. The Anivia, like I said, is going to win this game for them. So when we farm our top camps here and we go Raptors Krugs, Velja should recall, which is what he was doing. He was literally making the best play here, right? But Bwipo says...
Just the plan is the same.
I still have TP for bot, by
She
the way.
has no sustain. I have
Can you cancel and look? It's really big for me if we can chunk.
Can we cancel and look? It's really big if you chunk. Not really. It does not mean anything if he lands a cleaver onto this person, because you guys might be like, oh yeah, but Renekton can win lane. He can't. Like, he literally cannot beat this Rumble in lane. Been given a history, right, of this top lane. Rumble is beating Renekton. This will continue indefinitely. It happens in 9 out of 10 games. If someone is winning at 5-10 minutes, they're going to win at 20. So this does not mean like anything for the game. If you hit a cleaver on Rumble, if you get him half HP, it's kind of good. But the big issue with this is the enemy jungler sees you top. The enemy jungler is going to 3v2 your bot lane. Who do you care more about in this game? Renekton with some components, or a Corki who, when he gets to Triforce, he can actually carry the game? The Corki, right? So the 20, 30 seconds you might spend here, even the 7 seconds we just wasted recalling and stopping it, we could be running out to bot. We could be putting pressure on Zehen's Raptors if they're still up. We could be looking to move with our Anivia down to the enemy Yanara and diving her, right? Because Anivia's crushing this game. Instead, we're spending 20, 30 seconds here because our top laner communicated. And I know Velja knows this is a bad move, but this is the issue when you play with people in your ear, and of course he does, but the people in your ear as a jungler when you're playing in teams, they need to understand that all you want is information on the Rumble. Does he have flash? Did he use Ignite? Does he have ultimate? And then I'll make my decision for myself. I do not need to be told here to go to the Rumble because what do? I throw a cleaver, but you're nowhere near me, Renekton. You're not on my screen. And what ends up happening? He dies. So I thought these were the major talking points of this game. I'm not going to go through the rest of it, guys, because this has already been like 30 minutes, and it will take me like 2 hours, probably, knowing me. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the moves, let me know. And yeah, don't be shit. Good luck out there. Discord link below, by the way, for don't be shit. And yeah, don't be shit, bye.